So this was a very fast changeover from the Ellinikon project with the minister, Eurobank, and of course Odysseas Athanasiou from Lambda, with Yannis moderating, into the next into this panel that talks about the largest integrated resort casino project in Europe, which is part of the Ellinikon project. So Yannis will moderate it. We'll have a discussion with Mr. Kontomerkos, the Chief Executive Officer of Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment. Yanni and Mario, thank you again for being with us, and I turn it over to both of you.
My pleasure, Nikos. Thank you for the invitation to be once again, the Capital Link. It's great to be here with Mario. Mario is, the Greek-American CEO of Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment, the brains behind the success of the recent tender, the brains behind the development of the IRC in Europe, the first IRC in Europe, and the guy who's sitting, the driver's seat of the international expansion of Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment. Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment, unlike, its competitors, is not a company focused only in the States. It is currently, developing projects, internationally. Mario, correct me if I'm wrong, you have 2 operating casinos in Canada. You're developing a more than 5 billion, in Korea, which in the end will have its own terminal, and hopefully you will develop, very soon, the integrated resort casino here in Athens. The Greek government, as you know, aspires to turn this old airport site at Hellinikon into a Monaco-like magnet for wealthy entrepreneurs and businesses from abroad, as well as for tourists and pensioners. As we said, this will be the development of the first IRC, not only in Greece, but in Europe. And you're currently, the preferred bidder of the tender. It's not only you're together with Yekterna, a very, very might company when it comes, to infrastructure and energy, not only in Greece. And we hear that your plans are to yield profit not only to the business partners, but also to Greece, both in the short and in the long term. If I understand correctly, this Inspire Athens will be a 24/7 destination, which will have, an arena, a casino, a hotel, restaurants, bars, shopping malls, convention center. And I hear the number 7,000 jobs. Is it real? And I also hear that only the IRC will increase tourism in Athens by 10%. I mean, is it marketing or is it real? Can you please tell us a few more words about that? And in order to realize that, because I understand that you want to do it, in 3 years' time, assuming that you get, all the permits and the licenses that we discussed with the minister earlier. I mean, are you willing to cooperate with the Greek state and with the other local authorities to achieve all this?
Yanni, first of all, thank you for those kind comments. As I'll mention, I think in a few moments, none of the success that we've had could have been accomplished without some of the incredible team members that we have on the ground in Greece and also here in the United States. So thank you for that. Look, it's an honor for us. And let me start by saying this. I'll start with a little bit of a saying or an anecdote that we have here in the United States, and I'm sure has been translated around the world many times. For a project of this size, when you want to bring something up and raise something up from the ground up, we often say it takes a village. It takes a village, okay? For a project of this size and scale, now it's talking about something that's going to exceed 1 billion euros over the next several years. In our minds, the only path to success is by working together, joining forces, and engaging with all of the stakeholders that are involved. Because if a project of this size impacts so many different stakeholders in the Greek community, it impacts the Greek state. It impacts the Greek private sector. We're talking about construction companies, banking companies, technology companies, professional services companies, the Greek public sector, educational institutions, social services. All of these stakeholders are involved. And it's in that spirit of cooperation that this village will come together. And even though it's an enormous undertaking, we believe that we will bring this to bear. We have successfully brought these projects to bear in the past, like the examples that you have mentioned around the world. And we cannot wait to get started in Athens. So from our perspective, this is an unbelievable opportunity to demonstrate to not only Greece, but to the rest of the world and foreign investors that are watching, the example by which the Greek community and foreign investors can work together as a village to create something of this size and scale. And we think it's absolutely possible.
Great. So we are expecting great synergies, with the Greek state and the local community. But talking about the Greek state and the local community, we often hear that, the development of this project will affect the Greek economy. Can you give us some further detail? I'm a lawyer, that fares well with me, but, I'm not good at maths. And so please give us some detail and, if possible, examples.
You're a modest man, Yanni. I think that the numbers that you had discussed earlier are absolutely on target, and we have many examples of these numbers being generated here in the United States and in other countries. And so, when we talk to you about the creation of 7,000 construction and operational jobs, when we talk to you about the pledge to utilize primarily Greek professional companies, as we've said before, banks, law firms, engineering, construction, etc. These are the benefits that happen even before the project opens. When we talk to you about the benefits after the project opens, by virtue of the fact that we will be ramping up and creating and enlarging the existing meeting and convention business that is in Athens today and could be much larger from our perspective, by virtue of the fact that we will be bringing the A-list concerts through the arena that you talked about, we believe that will generate, and we have seen this in the past, generate international tourism to the Attica region by 10%. And these are numbers that have been vetted by ourselves, also by third parties, and were in the tender. We believe in these numbers very strongly. That visitation will generate revenue. That revenue will increase and provide sales and tax proceeds to the Greek state and to the people of Greece. Not only that, and again, from the experience that we have here in the United States and in other locations around the world, we spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year, both with local vendors, and one of the things that's very important to this organization in particular is supporting dozens of local charities. That happens in every location that we're in. That will happen at Inspire Athens as well. So this is not something that is something that is difficult to understand. When you think about the size of the project that we're talking about and the number of people that are employed, these are the types of benefits that happen. And I think if I were to mention one last benefit, I think, Yanni, here, that is probably potentially the most exciting of the benefits for me. It's like we talked about all the tangible benefits. The intangible benefit for me, and again, the most exciting for me potentially, is the fact that, again, we may be able to create an example here. We may be able to demonstrate a model by which other investors around the world may see that Greece is ready for foreign investment. And to the extent that we are able to demonstrate that, and that this project moves on pace and is opened on time and delivers all of these things that we're talking about, I do believe that this will be the spark for future foreign investment, billions of euros of foreign investment into the Attica region, into Greece going forward. And we're already seeing this happening. We're already seeing this happening with some of the investments by Microsoft, the investments by Pfizer, the investments by CVC, obviously our investment, and others to come. So this is a reality. It's happening, but we have to work together in order for it to make it a reality.
I find that, very, very interesting. And it's clearly, paving the way for my next question. Mohegan is a US investor, a foreign investor, which was not really acquainted, with the standard procedures, EU law and EU public, procurement rules. After this process, this tender process, what's your experience? What did that leave any bad taste in your mouth, or is it the other way around? And what is the message that you want to send, to the ones to the Americans they want to participate, to the sort of public tenders in Greece?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, and it's one that I reflect on quite a bit, Yanni. Let me give you a couple of thoughts. One is transparency and rule of law. I think you talk to any investor outside of the United States, and it doesn't matter whether it's Greece or it's another country, those are the two bedrocks that are going to provide the confidence in the foreign investor to be able to make an investment in the country. That is what we've experienced here, and I'm very happy to say that. The tender process, as run by the Greek state and the Hellenic Gaming Commission, was a complicated process, and it was a difficult process, and yet they ran it to the letter of the law. And I can't tell you how important that is for a foreign investor. So for us, transparency, rule of law is number one. Number two, I'll just give you a couple of reflections on the tender process itself. And let me provide a little bit of background. As an organization, Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment has literally participated in dozens of RFPs in numerous jurisdictions across the world over the last 25 years. The public tender in the IRC for the IRC in Athens, in my experience, was probably the most complex and idiosyncratic tender that we have faced. And what do I mean by that? The painstaking detail that was required in order to meet every single environment, every single question in that tender, knowing that the evaluation committee was going to keenly look at every single one of those details was an aspect of this tender that was unique relative to some of the other tenders that we have participated in. Now, keep in mind, that was going on, as you well know, Yanni, along in parallel with a concession agreement discussion that was going on with the Greek state and a land agreement discussion that was going on with the landowner. So you had multiple paths in parallel moving along on this tender process. It was extremely complex. And in order to coordinate such an effort, the only thing I can say without any hesitation is that based on the creativity and the work ethic and the dedication of our 60 individuals that we have working on the ground in Greece today, due to the incredible professionalism and partnership of our partner at Yakterna, and due to, in no small part, to our professionals who are leading the way on the ground, including you, Yanni, as our local legal advisor in Lambadarios, we were able to, connect all of those different pieces in a way to move forward successfully. So, look, I think, from my perspective, it was a great success, this tender. I look back at it and I say, in terms of being able to coordinate such a massive effort and be able to get it across the finish line, and now to be able to move into the next phase of the actual development of the project, was a great success.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you both at the institutional level and at the personal level. I keep the words synergy, example, transparency, rule of law, and the very final question. As I said at the very beginning, you are on the driver's seat of the international expansion, but how about national expansion? Is the IRC the end of the road, or we should be expecting, further surprises from you in the future? If you want to answer that.
Here's what I can tell you. Certainly, and I think everybody should know, our focus right now is to complete the commitments that we've made to the Greek state and to all of our stakeholders regarding Inspire Athens. That's job number one. On one hand, we're at the end of the road. On the other hand, we're at the beginning of another long road, and we need to complete that road together as a team. So I think that's number one. On the other hand, there's a lot of reasons to like Greece, Yanni. Its culture of hospitality, natural beauty, climate, workforce, infrastructure, the wonderful people that we've run into here, the incredible talent and expertise that we have here. How could we ever rule out expansion of our current activities? We couldn't. But I think for now, I think we have some work to do. So let's get going and start that work.
Definitely. It was really great to have you, Mario, today. It's always, great fun talking to you. I believe that I will see you next year in New York at the next Capital Link with physical presence. And I'm sure that we will have many things to tell, then regarding, the progress of the development of the IRC. I'm particularly thankful to Nicholas for participating to this roundtable, and once again, I'm really flattered. I'm really flattered.
Certainly, folks, and happy holidays to all of you, and a happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you in person next year.
Thank you to both of you. Thank you
Καλά
very much.
Χριστούγεννα, καλή Πρωτοχρονιά.
Thank you.
Επίσης.
Bye.